welcome to the GrandLAN video blog for books that came out on July 29th, 2009. As always, I'm Craig, your host. This is part 2 of 2. We've got 4 DC books to talk about. If you want to know what 4 Marvel books I talked about this week, catch part 1 wherever you're watching this one: YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, ProjectFanboy.com, etc., etc. Like I said, there's only 4, so you know it's going to kind of be a short episode, but let's get right to it anyway. Detective Comics, number 855. Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams, still knocking it out of the park. I feel like the cover summarizes this book. Somebody pointed out that it's nice to see a cover artist matching an interior artist, in the sense, I mean, obviously there's the same artist, but a cover actually showing or hinting at what happens in the book, instead of all these just pin-up shots that we seem to get for covers now all the time. So great stuff, very interesting lead up to the story. We've got this character Alice who's kind of going around as part of the the crime Bible story with Batwoman, trying to kill Batwoman. And the backup is no slouch either. You've got Rucka and I believe Cully Hamner doing The Question, which is another really interesting character. I've really liked Renee Montoya's development into The Question and what's been going on with her from here. Some great storytelling here. J.H. Williams knocks it out of the park on some great panel layouts across 2-page spreads and just all sorts of weird shapes and wild stuff, visually. And if you're gonna do like an Alice in Wonderland style story, with an Alice in Wonderland style villain, you might as well do something psychedelic, something head trippy, something that's really gonna alter your mind as you read it. So great stuff. I'd love to see the Grant Morrison clique pick this up and see what they can say about it, because I have a feeling that this is the type of high intellectual stuff that the Grant Morrison fans kind of jump onto, but because it's Greg Rucka, they're not going to be looking at it. So they should be. It's a great book. It's very fun, and it continues to be so. The Last Days of Animal Man is continuing, and time and time again, this is the last book I get to. Like when I read the stuff getting ready to shoot these over the week, I find myself struggling to open this book. But once I open it, then I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why did I wait so long? Jerry Conway is doing a great job. Chris Batista on art, he's doing okay. But Jerry Conway's writing is absolutely out of the park on this. Animal Man is hanging out with the League of Titans, which has Power Woman and a African-American Flash and a Red Tornado that is far less human than we know him. But this book, subtly, as you might not have picked up, is mentioned in issue 1. I don't think it's been mentioned since. This book is set in the future, 15 years after the events of 52, and Animal Man's losing his powers. So there's really strong tie into Animal Man and Starfire's connection during 52, particularly in this issue, but dealing with a lot of different stuff coming out of that and kind of exploring an idea of a futuristic DC universe and where Animal Man's going to end up in that picture, in that great scheme of things. Again, I don't think this book is going to be appreciated for what it is. This is a great miniseries. It's going to be really fun. It's halfway over, but still, it's just been a thrill ride, and we have no idea where it's going. The second half is going to be just as wild and adventuresome as the first half has been. I can't say enough good things. Vastly underrated. Check this out. It's, again, $2.99. Where do you see a 6-issue $2.99 miniseries anymore? Not anywhere. 18 bucks can get you 6 issues of this. It'll be great. You'll love it. Superman 690 by James Robinson, however, as much as it pains me to say, just feels awkward. It feels out of place. It feels disjointed. It reads like a series of vignettes, and after every 5th or 6th page, there's a balloon. To be continued in Superman Annual. To be continued in such and such a story. I get that they're trying to introduce all these different characters, and they're trying to cover the Guardian and the Science Police and Mon-El and Steel and all these different story arcs within the Superman story to kind of cover for the fact that Superman is in the World of New Krypton book instead of here. However, I would much rather see Mon-El as the star of this book. If you need to interact with things, interact with things. Don't just make like basically a sales pitch book. This is seriously a series of vignettes. It's just 4 or 5 stories. One of them even is just Sodam Yat, which the only reason he's mentioned is because he's a Daxamite, like Mon-El is, and then To be continued, and whatever. Like, didn't Sodom Yacht die in the Green Lantern books right in the lead up to Blackest Night? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely off base, but it felt, again, it just felt disjointed. It felt weird, you know, and this book's kind of been running out of steam, unfortunately. James Robinson brought to the table a really good idea, you know, a really good setup to replace Superman in Metropolis and deal with this cast of characters, and he's just not doing it very well. You know, he's distracted by the cast of characters that he set out. You know, he's looking over here, he's looking over there, and he's worrying about all these different things. And really, he should just be telling a linear story and pulling on that cast as he needs them, rather than trying to worry about each individual pod along the way. It's unfortunate, but it happens, I suppose. Lastly, and you know I'm going to talk about it, come on now. It's here again. Number 4 of 12. I gotta say, some of these stories are really picking up. The Batman story is doing really well. The Commodity story has been good week after week, really. The Green Lantern story is kind of dragging. The Metamorpho story, again, even though we're off of the full page spreads, is brilliant. It's really fun. You can actually get a sense of where we're headed with that. And Strange Adventures by Paul Pope, and of course the Paul Miotti and Connor Supergirl. Both of these, I think these two are really underrated, right in the middle. Supergirl has been a fun thing the whole time, you know, from issue 1. But again, the point is, with about a third of the way done, you know, after 4 issues, we're starting to see some direction to the stories. As fun as the Flash story has been, it's really, it's time travel, and it's kind of out of shape. You know, I'm not quite sure where it's going to go or how they're going to explain away what's going on. And the Hawkman story, definitely good. Again, I got to get another picture of that Kyle Baker art, because it doesn't look anything like what people know Kyle Baker to do, which really makes it fun. Again, it's a great format. I finally talked to my boss into opening it up. So people seem to kind of be catching on, because I know I'm definitely reordering it, so I'm starting to have people kind of notice what's going on and catch up, and they're like, man, I got to get issue 1 and 2 and definitely check this out. So again, another just great positive story, great stuff in Wednesday Comics. Please check it out. It'll be great. You'll love it. I promise, especially if you like art or writing. And if you're a comics fan, you obviously like one of the two, if not both. That's it for this installment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.